Yeah, so I just pulled up and parked here at a gas station like 2 minutes down the road from my apartment. It was pretty powerful. It was talking, the mess, I will link it down below. It's talking about taking a stand for what you believe in, but in some cases you don't need to take action. You just need to be heard. And those who trust you, you're going to be the rock for those people who trust you, and you're going to be the anchor for some of these people. And that was the point of the that was one of the points of what I was listening to from it's from Dr. Dobson, and it was pretty good. It's 25 minutes long, give or take, so it'll take you some time to get through it, but it is well worth listening to. There's quite a few other messages in there. The conversation is geared towards like producers and some of the content that they're putting out there, and it is a few years old, so to speak, but it's still relevant today with the amount of content that is commercialized and sold off. It's caused a lot of problems with quite a few people out there. Anyway, before I also continue on here, I wanted to say that I'm going to try to do things a little bit. I'm still going to be working on how I do an introduction of sorts. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not exactly comfortable about it. I'm someone who likes being behind the scenes. I don't like being like visible. It kind of bothers me, but at the same time, this first video is supposed to kind of set something so people can understand, like, oh yeah, there's a person behind the voice. I'm not exactly afraid to be seen. I'm just afraid to be misinterpreted, which is honestly really annoying and frustrating, and it backfires on so many levels. I'm trying to get a point across, and yet people they're pulling up the wrong points, or they're purposely trying to cause complications and problems. We all know those people, troublemakers, and half of them aren't even worth the effort. Some people are honestly struggling, and they just try to lash out because guess what? They're angry, they have questions, no one's giving them answers. In fact, that's kind of why I'm doing this, is because some of these questions aren't being answered, or there's very few sources for them. The sources where I pull up some of this information from, I'm going to link down below. And in the case of this video, since I am trying to keep these somewhat brief, I'm going to have to do 2 parts. In some cases, 3 parts. It really depends upon the topic, but some of this stuff can get very deep, and since I have issues with boundaries, keeping things around the 15-minute mark is probably best here. That's just so it doesn't get too long, you know. Anyway, I have a list here. I'm just going to pull it up here. The main video is, I had to kind of split it up because it's 2 parts. It's 2 parts of the same coin, so to speak, but they're not really against each other. It's just that what you're defining it by is, it got complicated because image and identity applies to a worldview and to a Christian view. The whole point of these videos is to try to bridge the gap between those who are Christians and those who are not. I grew up with a Christian family, and I've had that for pretty much all my life, so to speak. However, I try to keep quiet about that because I don't like it when people lump me in with a whole category of people and they just simply tune me out. Changes have happened along the way, and there's definitely some understanding that comes with experiences. And as I tell other people, like, I was deployed twice. I went to Iraq, seeing some shit. It's not pleasant, but when reality hits you, you kind of have to be ready, or else it will rock your world. For some of those people, it just happens to be that they come back and their spouse is gone, and it's very physical in nature to that point. It's very physical and emotional when things like that happen. But for others, it's a crisis of faith, where something happens and they start questioning their faith, and they just kind of shatter. They don't have the support, they don't have the foundation, they don't have the resources to help pull them back up. And in some cases, it could take a roughly 5 to 10 years for some of these people to get back to their feet. And by the time they see where things went wrong, they're almost a completely different person. Yeah, so anyway, let me continue on here. I tried looking this up, and I tried looking identity up, and I kept getting results under self-esteem. Yeah, so that's very interesting to note. So some of these things you will have to go back and the Webster dictionary, for example, you have to like go back and see what exactly are some of these words, and then you start from there. In some cases, you may be looking up the wrong definition, which is important because if you base your understanding off of something that is incorrect or wrong, you're going to be incorrect and wrong, and who knows how long that'll be before you end up fixing that. Yeah. Anyway, in comparison to each other, identity is what is said versus what is heard. That is image. The main difference is while your identity is how you want to be perceived, your image is your reality in today. You can change your image, but you can't really change your identity because one is what you show others, and the other one is that you carry around. I guess in the case of those who are trying to change their sex, that is a possibility. Blair White is one of those more popular people out there who honestly made that be somewhat successful. It's going down that road, though, is more or less permanent because you're trying to effectively change who you are, not just on a level where other people can identify you and understand you a certain way, but you're changing yourself sexually. That is on a very different level, but it still fits into this topic. The definitions that I found that fit under worldly image here is it is a body image, beauty, self-esteem, validation, and respect by others, success, longevity of your life, being in charge or in control, being wealthy. All of the above would be answers many give because their definition gives an explanation that is logical and that which can be seen in the same way. Logical and understandable. Keeping things simple is what I'm trying to go for here. Something that to help bridge the gap, as what I've been trying to tell other people, between those who are Christians and those who are not. It's important because I believe the church has failed or just simply has not put out enough content on some of these questions that I will be talking about. This is just the first of many. It's important because we all need answers, and sometimes these questions can take you a lifetime trying to work through and figure out all that. Let's see here. Also, it's easy to fall into the trap of trusting someone that you, like your parents or someone else in your life who's been consistent. It's easy to trust them and to just take things at face value and never actually challenge it and try to make it be your own. That's something that I did that I didn't realize was actually harmful in a few ways. Your ability to change, to be flexible, and your ability to interact with other people is actually at stake if you only go by what is face value. The world says your identity is because of your behavior. That is a function of what you do, and that you are a success or a failure strictly because of the results that are seen and heard. Defining your life as a success or a failure is a very unhealthy way of looking at it, but it keeps things very simple. The trade-off being having something that you can focus your eyes on versus having something you can set your eyes on versus something that is more intimate than that. This isn't easy, but some of this will take time to understand. Looking, this will only matter to some people, though. Some people who are struggling with their identity and, their image, like, who am I? Why am I here? What is the point of all this? They're asking these questions because they don't know. They want answers. They go to their pastors. They go to their parents. All of them give different answers. And this is important because understanding where you're coming from, understanding your problems, and you can start to see what you're missing and what you need. So, understanding what other people out there will tell you, what they will tell you, versus biblical truths, it gives you something to compare and to try to figure out what's best for you. The difference between me and many other Christians out there is the fact that giving people evidence and giving them facts that they can make their own choices off of, rather than just simply trying to shove things in their face and down their throats. That's not the intent, and that honestly turns a lot of people off. Also, it shuts down conversation because these people take it way too personally, even though that's not your intent. Most of the people don't have that intent. Then again, most people walk around wearing masks, so go figure that one out. I would also have to say that everyone's biased, so they're going to focus on different things. They're going to hit different points. That's important to know as well. What you care about, other people aren't going to care about. Now, I would have to say that this is more of a side topic here, but it fits right in. But brand identity. If you're trying to sell off a product, you're going to put it in such a way as to be pleasing, or you need this. This is going to help you out in that way. And so you put up a description and you try to make it look all nice and, like this is what you need in order to be successful or to go a little bit further. It depends on what the product is. It could be something from a household appliance to like a new car. Who hasn't seen a car commercial? I've seen I don't know, 200 in the past year. It's ridiculous. Anyway, brand identity definition. How you want the customer to perceive your product. It helps to shape the personality, quality, and perception of the product as well as the service of the company that provides it. If there are advertisements involved, then it also gives voice to the product as well, which is important because not everything is visual. Some things you actually have to hear. It all depends on what you're looking for. Brand image. According to David Benner, in The Gift of Being Yourself, defines identity as who we experience ourselves to be, the I each of us carries within. A popular definition is the perception of your product, brand, or company by your consumers or users. All the other links I will put down below. This is important, but the importance of this is rather simple. Being able to understand where people are coming from, their backgrounds, who's in their life, giving them advice or any sort of foundation. These could be your friends, these could be your family members. In the case of my family that I will just briefly get into, my brother ended up passing away and took his life, and my sister, I don't know the full story, but she shut down and then she pretty much pushed God out of her life. So when something happens and it shakes you up pretty badly, everything that you believed, trusted, and understood can be shaken as well. Being able to... What kind of person you are is shown through how you handle situations and how you are able to rebound from them. Some people don't recover and some people do recover. It depends on how much effort you put into this. Anyway, hit about the 50-minute mark, so I hope you like this. Comment your thoughts down below, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to this. I'm gonna try to put out content on a weekly basis. Not every day. I'm not gonna be that kind of person. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I need to, and I'm seeing a very real lack of men putting out content that is needed. So again, I don't really want to be doing this, but it's needed, and honestly, some people can benefit from this. All right.